Jaya Radha Manjava Kunjabiyare Jaya Gopinjana Valava Girivaridare Yashodanananda Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanananda Vrajajana Ranjana Yamunā tīrā vanacāre Yamunā tīrā vanacāre Jaya Radha Manjava Kunjabiyare Jaya Gopinjana Valava Girivaridare Yashodanananda Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanananda Vrajajana Ranjana Yamunā tīrā vanacāre Yamunā tīrā vanacāre Jaya Radha Manjava Kunjabiyare Jaya Gopinjana Valava Girivaridare Yashodanananda Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanananda Vrajajana Ranjana Yamunā tīrā vanacāre Yamunā tīrā vanacāre Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Madhav, Jai Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav, Jai Radha Madhav. Jayo Panchatattva, Jayo Panchatattva, Panchatattva, Jayo Panchatattva. Jaya Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jayo Prabhupada. Jaya Jai Gurudev, 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 Jaya Gurudev. Anytime go Hariva, 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 Gaura Hariva. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Privrajaga-acharya Rastotharasata Sri Srimad, His Divine Grace Abhaya Charanara Vṛndāvana Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya Jagadguru, Savior of the whole world, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Nityalila Pravista Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Astotharasata Sri Srimad, His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Brahmacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Adi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Shaima Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhama Ki Jai. Sri Vṛndāvana Dham Ki Jai. Sri Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Sri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Sri Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Nilachala Jagannathapuri Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Yamunā Mai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Madhava Astasaki Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Narasingha De Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Sri Panchatattva Bhagavani Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtana Ki Jai. Kali Yuga Patita Pavan Hare Krishna Mahamantra Ki Jai. Grand Rat Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Shri Gaura Premanandi. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glory to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Narayana Namaskritya Narachaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraya Nashtaprayesu abhadresu Nityam Bhagavatam sevaya Bhagavati uttamasloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this morning we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 2, texts 31 and 32. So 31, there's no purport. So I'll just read that alone. And then we'll go to 32, which should be on the board. Vipannān viṣa-pānena nigṛhya bhujaga-adhipam utthāpyāpāyayad gāvas toyaṁ prakṛti-sthitam. Translation: The inhabitants of Vṛndāvana were perplexed by great difficulties because a certain portion of the Yamunā was poisoned by the chief of the reptiles, Kāliya. The Lord chastised the snake king within the water and drove him away. And after coming out of the river, he caused the cows to drink the water and proved that the water was again in its natural state. So now we have the verse 32 on the board. Apāyayat go savena goparajam dvijotamai vitasya charu bharasya shikri samsat vyayam vibhur Apāyayat go savena goparajam dvijotamai vitasya charu bharasya shikri samsat vyayam vibhur Apāyayat go savena goparajam dvijotamai vitasya charu bharasya shikri samsat vyayam vibhur. Try. Apāyayat go savena charu bharasya Apāyayat savena goparajam dvijotamai vitasya charu bharasya shikri samsat vyayam vibhur. Apāyayat go savena goparajam dvijotamai vitasya charu bharasya shikri samsat vyayam vibhur. Ladies. Apāyayat go savena goparajam dvijotamai vitasya charu bharasya Chikrisam sarvyayam vibhur. Ayajayat go savena. Goparajanti jotamai. Vitasya charubharasya. Chikrisam sarvyayam vibhur. Word for word translation. Ayajayat, made to perform. Go savena, by worship of the cows. Go parajam, the king of the cowheads. Bhujaga-adhipam, by the learned brahmanas. Vitasya, of the wealth. Cha, also. Uru bharasya, great uplands. Chikrisan, desiring to act. Satvyayam, proper utilization. Vibhu, the great. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. The Supreme Lord Krishna desired to utilize the opulent financial strength of Maharaj Nanda for worship of the cows, and also he wanted to give a lesson to Indra, the king of heaven. Thus he advised his father to perform worship of Go, or the pasturing land, and the cows, with the help of learned brahmanas. Kindly repeat responsively. The Supreme Lord Krishna, desired to utilize the opulent financial strength of Maharaj Nanda for worship of the cows. And also, he wanted to give a lesson to Indra, the king of heaven. Thus he advised his father to perform worship of Go, or the pasturing land, and the cows, with the help of the learned brahmanas. Srila Prabhupada's purport. Since he is the teacher of everyone, the Lord also taught his father, Nanda Maharaj. Nanda Maharaj was a well-to-do landholder and owner of many cows. And as was a custom, he used to perform yearly worship of Indra, the king of heaven, with great uplands. This worship of demigods by the general populace is also advised in the Vedic literature, just so people can accept the superior power of the Lord. The demigods are servants of the Lord, deputed to look after the management of various activities of universal affairs. Therefore, it is advised in the Vedic scriptures that one should perform yagyas to appease the demigods. But one who is devoted to the Supreme Lord has no need to appease the demigods. Worship of the demigods by common people is an arrangement for acknowledging the supremacy of the Supreme Lord, but it is not necessary. Such appeasement is generally recommended for material gains only. As we have already discussed in the second canto of this literature, one who admits the supremacy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead does not need to worship the secondary demigods. Sometimes, being worshipped and adored by less intelligent living beings, the demigods become puffed up with power and forget the supremacy of the Lord. This happened when Lord Krishna was present in the universe, and thus the Lord wanted to give a lesson to the king of heaven, Indra. He therefore asked Maharaja to stop the sacrifice offered to Indra and to use the money properly by performing a ceremony, worshipping the cows and the pasturing ground on the hill of Govardhan. By this act, Lord Krishna taught human society as he has instructed in Bhagavad Gita also, that one should worship the Supreme Lord by all acts and by all their results. That will bring about the desired success. The Vaishyas are specifically advised to give protection to the cows and their pasturing ground or agricultural land instead of squandering their hard-earned money. That will satisfy the Lord. The perfection of one's occupational duty, whether in the sphere of duty to oneself, one's community, or one's nation, is judged by the degree to which the Lord is satisfied. Om Jnana-timirasya Jnanan Ganasalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuktapadakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahogana Ragunastam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahogana Lalita Sri Vishakam Vitamscha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Tirtha Swami Iti Namini. Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Asri Tatmane Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Bhakti Tirthariti Namini. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvese Sashunyavadi Pasachade Satarini. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindubhya ivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo mahavadanyaya Krishna prema pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya namini gauratvize namaha. Nityanando vatutendur vasuda pranavalabhar janavir jivita patir Krishna prema pradaprabhu. Padmavati Sutta Srimam Sachirananda Purvajaha Bhavom Mata Jagatrakta Rakta Gora Kile Varaha Advaitam Harinadvaita Racharyam Bhakti Shamshanat Bhaktavataram Itam Sham Advaita Acharya Shraye Panchatattvamakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Nama Pankajanabaya Nama Pankajamaline Nama Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajagraye. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagaritaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopita Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatam Surato Pango Mama Madirgatima Sarvaswa Padambujo Radha Madana Mohano Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadrumada Srimad Radadgara Simhastana Stau Srila Govinda Devo Prishyali Bisivya Manosmarami Shrimam rasa rasaram bivam sivata tatastita karsan venu swanai gopi gopinat sriyestunaha tapta kanchana gaurangi radhe Vṛndāvaneshwari vrishabhanu sutta devi pranamami hari priye Devi Krishna Mai Prokta Radhika Paradevata Sarva Lakshmi Mai Sarvam Kanti Samohini Paraha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So translation again. Text 32 says, the inhabitants of Vṛndāvana were perplexed by great difficulties because a certain portion of the Yamunā was poisoned by the chief of reptiles, Kāliya. The Lord chastised the snake king within the water and drove him away. And after coming out of the river, he caused the cows to drink the water and prove that the water was again in its natural state. And 32 says, the Supreme Lord Krishna desired to utilize the opulent financial strength of Maharaj Nanda for worship of the cows, and also he wanted to give a lesson to Indra, the king of heaven. Thus, he advised his father to perform worship of gold or the pasturing land and the cows with the help of learned brahmanas. Mukam karoti vachalam pangam lagayate grim yat kri patamahan vande Shri Guru Dina Taranam Paramanam Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Akanda Mandalakaram Vyaptayina Characharam Tatpadam Dashitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. So we'd like to welcome everyone to this morning's Srimad Bhagavatam class. And before we proceed to say something for our own purification and probably for the benefit of the audience, we seek the blessings of all of you gathered here so that we can say something meaningful. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj, I always love to quote this verse. Durgame patime idasya skalat pada gate muhur swa krepa yasti danena santu avalambalam. Krishna Das Kaviraj, such an exalted Vaishnava, exalted personality on the platform of Vyasadeva. Vrindavan Das Thakur and Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj, they are the authors of Krishna Leela, of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, which is as good as Krishna Leela. So they're actually expansions of Srila Vyasadeva to compile the glorious pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yet, Krishna Das Kaviraj is praying for the mercy of the Vaishnavas. Swakripa yasti danena santa avalambalam. Says, I'm blind. My path is slippery. I'm slipping again and again And therefore, I need the support. I need the mercy of the Vaishnavas. I need the mercy of the devotees as support on this path of Krishna consciousness. So we all need Vaishnava association. We all need the mercy of the Vaishnavas. Without that, where shall we be? Without the mercy of the Vaishnavas, we won't be sitting here. Without the mercy of His divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, there won't be such a wonderful place like Mayapur. And there will be such a wonderful arrangement like this daily Srimad Bhagavatam. It's only by the mercy of exalted Vaishnavas that such arrangements are made possible for the benefit of the whole world. So we always need the mercy of the Vaishnavas to do anything we want to do. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is teaching us by example. They are acharyas, so the acharya teaches by example. So we need your mercy so that we can say something meaningful for our own progress and for the benefit of the audience. So we have two verses. The first verse is talking about Kāliya poisoning the lake within the Yamunā and making it unsuitable for the cowherd boys as well as the cows to drink. So it is said that Krishna chastised the snake king within the water and drove him away. And after coming out of the river, he caused the cows to drink the water and proved that the water was again in its natural state. And Srila Prabhupada, in his purport, says that since Krishna is the teacher of everyone, the Lord also taught his own father, Nanda Maharaj, to give up the worship of demigods. So we can see that in the verse 31, Krishna drove Kāliya out of the lake within the Yamunā. Then in verse 32, Krishna stopped the worship of Indra. So Krishna is stamping his authority that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore, nothing is beyond him. Kāliya had poisoned the lake of water that became very dangerous for the residents of Vṛndāvana and for their cows. It is mentioned, Kim asmabir anevritam Deva Deva Jagat Guru. That Krishna is the universal teacher for everybody. He is a worshipable deity of everybody. And therefore, when Krishna learned that Kāliya had poisoned the water, he immediately went there to chastise Kāliya and drove him out of that lake. In fact, it is mentioned that Kāliya had poisoned the water to the degree that the water was always boiling. The poison of Kāliya was so great that it was boiling the lake. Kalendium Kāliya sia acid. Kalendium Kāliya sia acid. That within the Kāliya, the Kalendi is Yamunā. Kalendi is another name of Yamunā. Within Kalendi, Yamunā, there was a lake called Radha. And in that lake, Kāliya was living there. And Kāliya had poisoned all the water in that lake. And the lake was always boiling with that poison. So my soul, patanti oparega kaga, that birds that will fly over the lake would die. They will fall into the lake and die. The poison was so great that it was boiling the lake, it was boiling the water, and there were fumes of the poison in the air. And any living entity that will fly over that lake will fall inside and die. It is actually said that even the vegetation around the lake had all dried up because of the intense poison that Kāliya was vomiting into the water. And that was boiling and scorching everything around. So all the vegetation were dead. There was no tree around this Kāliya Radha. There was only one tree. And that one tree was surviving by the mercy of Garuda. Garuda, as a devotee of the Lord, he knew that one day the Lord would need a tree. He would need to climb a tree. And he has to jump on the head of this wicked Kāliya and discipline him. So he said, Garuda, drop some nectar on that tree. Garuda dropped some nectar on that tree. And because that nectar was dropped on the tree could resist the poison of Kāliya. And so that tree, that was the only tree that stood on the banks of Kāliya Ghat or Kāliya Radha. And so it was from that tree that Krishna climbed and jumped into this lake and began to wade here and there, agitating the mind of Kāliya. And when Kāliya heard the Supreme Lord wading inside his lake, he became very angry and he came out to attack the Lord. And Krishna disciplined him. Krishna danced on his head. Krishna punished Kāliya almost to the point of death. That the wives of Kāliya, they had to all come before Lord Krishna and beg for mercy. Please, don't make us widows. He's our only husband. No matter how wicked he is, no matter how crooked he is, he's our husband. Please don't kill him. And so the wives of Kāliya, they offered prayers, glorious prayers to Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna spared the life of their husband. So it is said that the vapors that created were so poisonous that birds flying over the contaminated lake will fall down. All the trees in the vicinity were all dried up because of Kāliya's activities. So in this regard, the acharyas say that Kāliya lake did not affect the whole Yamunā river. Otherwise, downstream in Mathura, they would have also suffered from the poison of Kāliya. But the poison was within this gut, within this lake. So, these activities of Kāliya was brought back to life when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Vṛndāvana. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Vṛndāvana, he was staying at Akura Ghat or Akura Theatre. And every day he would take his bath in Akura Ghat and perform his daily activities, chant his rounds. And people would come in their numbers to pay obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One morning, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw a crowd of people, and they were very ecstatic. They were chanting in a tumultuous way. And they came to Mahaprabhu, and they said, Krishna has come back to Vṛndāvana. Krishna has appeared back in Vṛndāvana. Krishna is dancing in Kāliya Ghat. Last night, Krishna was dancing on Kāliya Ghat. And all of us, we went to witness that dancing of Krishna on Kāliya. And Lord Chaitanya said, are you sure what you are saying? Krishna has come to Vṛndāvana and he's dancing on the head of Kāliya? They say, yes, Krishna has come to Vṛndāvana. Mahaprabhu ignored them. The next day, again, a group of people also came. They were so happy. They were coming from the Kāliya Ghat. They had gone to stay all night to watch Krishna dancing on the head of Kāliya. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's servant, Balabhadra Bhattacharya, hearing all this talking by people that Krishna had appeared again and he's dancing on Kāliya's head, Balabhadra approached Lord Chaitanya and said, my dear Lord, will you permit me? I want to go tonight and also witness Krishna dancing on the head of Kāliya. Immediately Lord Chaitanya gave him a slap. So what nonsense is this? These are fools. They are foolish people. They are being fooled. Something else is happening on the Kāliya Ghat. It is not Krishna dancing there. And you, who is supposed to be wise, you are joining the fools? Sit down here and chant Hare Krishna. So, Balabhadra Bhattacharya was stopped from going to watch Krishna dance on Kāliya. And then the third day, the next day, one gentleman came and saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and paid obeisance to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu asked him, where are you coming from? Because normally people come from that direction. They are coming from Kāliya Ghat. They've gone to spend the whole night watching Kāliya dance, Krishna dancing on Kāliya's head. So he also came from that direction. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, where are you coming from? He said, oh, I was told that Krishna has appeared again in Vṛndāvana and he's dancing on the head of Kāliya. So I've also gone to watch. But I was disappointed. I realized that it's a fisherman. A fisherman is doing fishing at night with his torchlight. And so these foolish people, they thought the boat was Kāliya and the fisherman was Krishna. And then the light, the torchlight the fisherman had, they considered that the jewels on the head of Kāliya. So Mahaprabhu turned around and asked Balabhadra Bhattacharya, you here? These are all fools. They are all going to watch a fisherman at night fishing. And they are telling people Krishna has arrived in Vṛndāvana to perform his pastimes again. Then that man said, actually, when I saw you, I begin to think, actually Krishna has appeared in Vṛndāvana, and this is you. It is you who has come to Vṛndāvana. All those who are going to spend their time watching the fisherman at night, they should rather come and pay their obeisances to you and take mercy from you. You are Krishna who has actually come back to Vṛndāvana. And when the gentleman said this, Mahaprabhu blocked his ears and chanted Vishnu, Vishnu, Vishnu. He doesn't want to be glorified. So, Krishna stamped his authority on Kāliya. Kāliya was poisoning the water that was meant for the consumption of the cows. The cows are so dear to Krishna. And Kāliya caused the cows not to have any water to drink. And the cowherd boys who drank the water, they went dead. They fainted. And Krishna had to revive all of them. So Krishna stamped his authority that there is nobody superior to him. Ekale Krishna sarvaswasya. There is nobody superior to Krishna. Krishna is the supreme authority. And wherever he is, he maintains his position as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Similarly, Krishna also tells his father, Nanda Maharaj, that my dear Nanda Maharaj, stop this worship of Indra. Indra is just a demigod. You don't need to waste your financial resources on Indra. Better you worship the cows. Better you worship Govardhan. Better you worship the grazing grounds of the cows. This is more pleasing to me than wasting all this hard-earned money in worshiping Indra. So by speaking like this, Krishna also agitated the mind of Indra. It is said that Indra's orders cannot be superseded. Mahendra eva durjaya. Mahendra eva durjaya. The authority of Indra, Mahendra means the great Indra. Indra is great. He is a king of heavens. All the demigods, they submit to Indra. So Indra is thinking he's very great. And so nobody goes against his order. So Krishna wanted to demonstrate that Indra is just a servant. So Krishna told his father, stop this Indra puja. Worship the cows. Worship the pasturing grounds. Worship Govardhan with your hard-earned money. And don't waste it on demigods. So in this way, Indra became angry and he decided to punish the residents of Vṛndāvana. And as we all know, he ordered his Samvartaka clouds, very heavy clouds, to go over Vṛndāvana and just pour volumes, pillars of water on Vṛndāvana and drown everybody else. Indra was ready to perform Maha Aparad. He wanted to kill everyone in Vṛndāvana simply because his puja was stopped by Krishna. He said, you Brijabases, you are listening to this talkative boy. You are listening to this boy who talks a lot. I will teach you a lesson. But actually, he was to be taught a lesson. So, for the Brijabases, even though Krishna is demonstrating all this authority, but for the Brijabases, they are not very much attracted to Krishna's Aishwarya Bhav. Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Brijabases are not interested in that. The Brijabases, their only interest is to witness, is to hear the glorious activities of Krishna. So it is said, Gopala Daro Charitam. Gopala Charo Charitam Yas Kripa Tamritam Jusham. Who is that living entity who would not want to hear the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So the Vṛndāvanas, their daily activity, their pastimes was simply to hear the glories of Lord Sri Krishna. So it is said that the greatest wealth of the Vṛndāvanas is these glorious pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, Lord Brahma says, Aho Bhagya, Aho Bhagya, Nanda Vrajakusham, Yan Mitram Paramanādam Purna Brahma Sanatanam. That how fortunate the Vṛndāvanas are. Their fortune is incalculable. Their fortune cannot be calculated. Why? Because they have Krishna as their friend. Yan Mitram Paramanādam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, has become their dear friend. Purnam Brahma Sanatanam. Purnam Brahma. Krishna is described as Purnam Brahma. Purnam Brahma means the complete Supreme Personality of Godhead. The blissful Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna Nam, Krishna Gun, Krishna Leela Vrinda, Swarupena Chit Ananda. Krishna's name, Krishna's qualities, Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's form, they are all transcendentally blissful. They are all transcendentally wonderful. And anyone who has any contact with these is fortunate. And so the Vṛndāvanas, they are so fortunate that they have Krishna as their friend. They have Param Brahman, Purna Brahma as their friend. And so they just love to hear Krishna's pastimes day in and day out. So they don't mind whether Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead or not. All that they take pleasure in is Krishna's activities. Actually, it is said that this pastime of Krishna lifting the Govardhan hill was in fulfillment of the desire of the Vṛndāvanas. It is said when Krishna leaves in the morning to go to the pasturing grounds with the cowherd boys, the elderly gopis and the elderly men back in Vṛndāvana, they will be lamenting that Krishna has gone with the cowherd boys. And the cowherd boys are enjoying Krishna's association all day. And they are missing Krishna's association at home. And then, when Krishna returns in the evening, then everybody can see Krishna in the evening, at night. And then the cowherd boys, they go home. And they are also lamenting, we are missing Krishna's beautiful face. We are missing Krishna's sweet association. When will the day break so that we can go back with Krishna to the pasturing grounds? Meanwhile, the gopis, they are engaged in rasa dance with Krishna in the night, and they are so happy. So during the day, the gopis are lamenting for Krishna's association, while the gopals are enjoying Krishna's association in the forest. During the night, the gopals are lamenting for Krishna's association, and the gopis are enjoying Krishna's association in their rasa dance. So each of these groups, they wanted to be with Krishna 24 hours. And Krishna was planning how to satisfy these devotees. So when he stopped Indra Puja, when he asked Nanda Maharaj to stop Indra Puja and rather utilize his wealth in worshipping the cows and Govardhan, he had a plan. He wanted to bring all the Vṛndāvanas together in one place for 7 good days. So when Indra became angry and began to throw volumes of water onto Vṛndāvana in an attempt to punish them, immediately Krishna lifted Govardhan hill with his little left finger, and he kept it afloat. And he created such a beautiful residence. It is said that all the grounds were made of rubies. The whole underneath of Golden Hill was like a palace. And Krishna signaled all the Brijabasis to come and enjoy under Govardhan. And for 7 days and 7 nights, Krishna provided his sweet pastime, sweet presence to the residents of Vṛndāvana. And in this way, he satisfied the Brijabasis so much by this pastime. Hare Krishna. So it's time for closing the class. I don't think we'll take any question. Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Oh, Maharaj, you are here? Please forgive me.